All right, so this is the second day of me going through funnels and finding out where they psychologically break down, and also sharing what I think is working about them. In my experience as a direct response copywriter and creative strategist, full disclosure, I can't know for certain if something is working. I don't have access to the back end KPIs. I can only go through it and share what I see and what I think is doing well and could be done better. And I have chosen just random offers from my feed, starting with this one right here, which we're going to break down, starting with the ad copy. Let's begin. I used to wake up dreading my calendar, back-to-back sales calls with prospects who just wanted to pick my brain. Now, one thing I like about this opening is that it speaks to somebody who already has this problem and somebody who already has momentum in their business. Because if you are speaking with prospects, even if you're not making money, at the very least, you're invested in yourself and you're invested in consuming products so that you can grow your business very likely. You've already done that. And this is in the biz ops space, typically somebody that we would call not quite 0 to 1, but maybe 0 to 1 being like they're beginners. You have to educate them on business itself. They don't have the characteristics typically of a business person, but they want the money. And one is, hey, they're already in the game. And then 100, so 1 to 100, that's the 100 being that they're at the elite level, they're fully operational typically. So I like this. It already speaks to a problem that they have. They're not making money. I used to wake up dreading my calendar, back-to-back calls with prospects who just wanted to pick my brain. The worst part, most didn't even show up, and the ones who did, they spend an hour asking questions, say, this sounds great, let me think about it, then ghost me completely. Yeah, most people who run sales call, book a call funnels like this have that issue. I tried everything the sales gurus recommended, better scripts, objection handlers, closing frameworks, but nothing changed the fundamental problem. I was asking skeptical strangers to trust me with $1,000 or more after 60 minutes on Zoom, after generating more than $100,000 in high ticket sales in the past 12 months. So it's obviously going through the flaw with that model. It's creating a problem with that model, which people are already running, and very likely what they're experiencing as they read consume the copy. Here's the truth. Sales calls are designed for one thing, to convince skeptical strangers to buy from you in 60 minutes, but trust doesn't work that way. So how do you sell high ticket offers without sales calls? You know what? I would actually, this is already quite a long ad, so maybe it's not necessary. You just want to get the click. But one way you could expand upon that is saying trust doesn't work that way. When you get to know someone, you don't marry them. Let's say when you go on a date, you don't ask some to marry somebody during that first encounter. You start with coffee and then you have dinner and then you go up. And so you kind of build the case that, hey, trust in a human society, it's gradual process, right? So how do you sell high ticket offers without scale? Because that's what everybody wants. Without sales calls, that's what everybody wants. How do you sell it without the sales calls? Um, Ideally. Now you could also say, well, how do you sell high ticket offers? Um, Because effectively, what people want is to build that trust immediately. If you're a business owner, you want to condense that process as much as possible. So maybe you could reword that a little bit, but it does cut to the heart of the matter. Use a 5-day speed dating email sequence that builds trust fast and naturally leads to here's how. So, okay, so we go into it. So I think that's satisfactory. Here's how it works. Blah 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 blah. It's easy to sell. 1K to 10K offers without ever hopping on a call, have prospects reach out to you. So really, you're just shortcutting the trust building sequence. And maybe that's an angle that this person could test, is like shortcutting the trust building sequence. It normally takes this many touch points. It normally takes this many weeks to build enough rapport with somebody where they'll spend $1,000 or more. 3 years after I got a full scholarship graduate and studies, I wanted to help with the applicant sacrifice, place picture. If it tried to do sales calls, I did. Blah, blah, blah. I guess this is fine. It's just kind of like I guess it's fine. This story here is kind of a traditional direct response story element that you see. You've got the first link, what it is, the 5-day challenge. I'll say, and he's doing his model here, the 5-day challenge, the 5-day email sequence. Of course, that's what you're opting in for. I'll show you how to build your own speed dating email sequence that delivers an aligned quick win with your prospects and naturally positions your high ticket offer as the next step of their journey. So probably just helping them get a result faster. They get that result, they trust you, they want to move forward with you. And that's typical. Every low ticket offer is effectively some variation of this if it's done well. It's just you trust the person who helps you get the result. Real results. So you got social proof, testimonials. Click the link. I think this ad is probably doing a pretty good job, I have to say. It nails a lot of things. Might be written by AI, but you could, if you know how to program AI and what you're looking for, you can program it to do ads like this. It's built on the same psychology that makes speed dating work, fast, trust through real value, and a guarantee. So a pretty strong ad, I have to say, overall. And if you saw my video yesterday, or by the time this is filmed from the previous video, one thing that this is doing well is speaking directly to the audience that they want to sell to. For coaches and consultants who hate sales calls as much as I do, discover how to sell your $1,000 offer without sales calls, webinars, VSLs, or posting content daily using the 5-day speed dating email sequence, even if you have no audience, zero social media following, or email list. This email sequence generated $100,000 of high ticket sales in less than 12 months without a single sales call. So right off the bat, we are very specific about who this is for, how they are operating their business, what they are frustrated with, how we are going to help them, and what our method is instead, and what they don't need. So we're removing a lot of those limitations. You don't need an audience, you don't need social media following, you don't need an email because those objections are going to be top of mind. It's like, okay, email, but I don't have an audience to email. It's like, that's okay, we're going to get to it. Then here's some social proof. So a very strong headline. And typically with a low ticket offer that's just $17, you can put a CTA right at the beginning because it's a non-threatening purchase for most people. You can pay $17, you can spend $17 elsewhere. You can spend more money elsewhere. And it's a very limited trade-off. You've got your testimonial here, so more social proof. And then we're going to get into Mobalahi. Oh, from BC, Canada. All right, cool. Dear coach, before 12 months, and I'm going to quickly go through this for the sake of time in this video here. I was trapped in the same exhausting. Before 12 months ago, I was trapped in the same exhausting cycle I might be facing right now, posting content daily, hoping the algorithm would notice me, scheduling discovery calls, what if I told you there's a completely different way that generated 100,000 high-ticket sales in less than 12 months using nothing but a simple 5-day email sequence, no sales calls, no VSLs, no endless posting, no large following required. Here's my embarrassing truth. I'm the coach who hates being on camera, takes forever to think of the right thing to say, would rather write than speak, doesn't have a massive social following, refuses to play the daily content. So really, this person is putting themselves in the shoes of the coach consultant that they want to target because they're going to resonate with his story and perceived limitations and things they don't want to do. In the world of online coaching, we're told that there's only one way to sell high ticket offers, that you must jump on endless discovery calls, overcome objections, so they're gonna hear what he's doing is starting to disqualify some of the other methods in this business. The set it and forget it system that changed my business. I decided to carry out an experiment in my education consulting business. I think I might change the transition here a little bit because it's a little bit choppy. It goes from you must do these things, but here's what I found. But I was skeptical of that after having done it for so long. And here's what I found. I decided to run a little experiment. It's fine the way it is. I created a $997 offer for a coaching program, created a 5-day speed dating sequence, and turned the 5-day sequence into a $7 low ticket offer so that only buyers entered the sequence. Again, this concept of buyers buying, not just leads. Buyers buy more things. Buyer leads are better than just leads. On the 5th day, I got a sale. So he's demonstrating social proof, how it works, et cetera, et cetera. All without creating content daily or sales calls. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I think it's a pretty solid offer. I imagine he's doing well with this. Here's why the speed dating email sequence sells 1K offers in days without sales calls. Go from complete strangers to genuine connections in just minutes. So here's what makes it work effectively. By solving real problems and shifting limiting beliefs. An ascension doc. I think I might, it's cool, like here's how it works, and here's what's in it, but I think I might explain that a little bit more because I'm a sophisticated audience. I know how this would theoretically work. But if somebody doesn't, they might need to understand, why is it that we can shortcut the trust building in a 5-day speed dating sequence? And I love the concept of speed dating, by the way. I think that's it's an adequately put. Will this work for my niche? Good objection handling, social proof. Screenshots are a little difficult to read. I might have some sort of captions around it, but good. Introducing the 5-day sell without sales calls challenge. Yeah, it kind of jumps into it. I think I might elaborate more on here's what is happening that is actually building more trust. You don't have to explain how to do it, but just to give that high level overview as to why it is building that trust with people in 5 days. Um, yeah, this is what the timeline language here, and here's what you're getting is very important because people perceive results on a timeline. They want to know when they're going to get something, and they want to kind of map things out, especially if they feel that there are alternatives that they could potentially get a result faster with. And so mapping that out for people sequentially with these types of offers, like any sort of challenge offer, that's very important. My ironclad no BS guarantee. I'm so confident this sequence will transfer your business. You got to have a guarantee. Your competition is about to be 10x. It's kind of a weird jump here. Your competition is about to be 10x. Like it does catch my attention, but what does he mean? He doesn't elaborate on this. AI is eliminating millions of jobs worldwide, not in 5 years, not eventually. Are flooding into coaching consult. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. He does actually. Apologies. Your competition is about to be 10x, but here's the kicker: the sales call model is broken. That means five. Here's a. Um, I'm glad he does the math. I think doing the math as to why this model simply can't work or can't scale, especially if you want a particular business where you're not totally in front of your laptop, your computer, pumping out content, that's critical. Maybe he could experiment with putting it higher up, but I think because the top part does a pretty good job of selling the idea and building desire for it, this person could probably get away with putting the mathematics uh, here. The speed dating email sequence breaks the time for money trap. Write once, work while you sleep. So exactly. It's like if you want a particular lifestyle and the money, this is how you accomplish it. The window is closing, creating some urgency here, $17. I doubt the window is actually closing. Most of this urgency is BS, but whatever. I'm practically giving this away. One thing that's I think important with low ticket funnels is having this. Why I'm practically giving this away and why you should care. When something is priced so low, people are skeptical of it. And the irony is you do want to have something that you could probably sell for $100, $1,000. You want the experience that they initially have to be so good that that's what they feel it's actually worth, that they got a real good deal. And sometimes that creates skepticism. And so you do want to address that. But I don't have an audience or email list. Again, this person had alluded to it, but I'm glad that they're talking about this part here. And turning it into advantage. That's very good copy. That build an email first myth, an audience first myth. The problem, you're building an audience of content consumers, not buyers. They're trained to expect everything for free. By the time you ask them to pay, they're shocked. So really, we're disqualifying the idea of building a list. And what he's suggesting is build a list of buyers. Now, I'm guessing that they're going to, inside the 5-day challenge, run ads. Like that's my assumption is they're going to run ads. So probably the model that he's running for this, his ad to this page to the challenge is selling that exact model. That's my assumption. And the two choice close, traditional. You have two paths. Pick the one that leads to your success. So this was a bit of a shorter video than the one previously, but I think it does show it does demonstrate what I see when I think Page is doing things well, maybe some things that could be improved, but overall, it does a pretty good job and it tells a pretty cohesive story as well. Done.